Hey everybody, welcome to my podcast, Becoming Your Own VIP, Mind, Body, and Soul. I'm your host, Rebecca McCants, and let's get to it. So, your current life is an arena, a school. It's the ultimate battle which you are to overcome internally and externally. In the Bible, there was the Exodus from Egypt, David and Goliath, Jacob that had to work 14 years just to marry Rachel, Ruth finding her Boaz, Jesus and the temptations he faced, the betrayal and the ultimate sacrifice. Each day we are in the wilderness with temptations, fears, insurmountable odds within our own minds and within the world, supporting whatever choice that you end up making for yourself. If you believe you can't, the world will show you that you can't. If you believe you're worthless, the world will show you that you are worthless. If you believe you are worthy of love, the world will show you in all of the ways that you are loved. If you believe you can overcome any obstacle, then the world will show you that because you are the writer of your own story. The story you are writing right now in the wilderness is one influenced, imposed, and programmed by other people's experiences and knowledge. Your task is to learn through the experiences to understand, grow, and learn from the lessons to do better. Choosing to love through purity, virtue, righteousness, nobility, courage, strength, integrity, authenticity, kindness, compassion, generosity, faith, and gratitude for all of that you have in the challenge, so that you can flourish. There's a lot of talk about generational curses, and I want to slip this in because the truth of the matter is, again, sins of the father. And we're carrying on wounds. And by you choosing different, choosing the path of light and, repenting from sins and living a righteous life, those are the things that break the cycles of the generations that have been passed down until finally it got to us. And you are presented with the light or darkness, and however you choose to show up in this world as. Choosing the light does not mean that things will be perfect. No. Matter of fact, the darkness will come to test your will, your morals, your values, and your character. The Bible explains how you can be tested and face all of the emotions and the opposition within and from your own family and society. The stories personalize what we all will face and the consequences of overcoming it or succumbing to it. The only thing in this world that we have truly in our power is ourselves, and through our free will to choose how we will show up in every area and aspect of our lives. What you ingest daily influences the story you create for yourself. Choice by choice by choice. Every choice leads you down a different path. Your choices are made by the thoughts, habits, behaviors, beliefs, perspectives, words, actions, environments, associations, and what you allow to continue to influence you. Through your 5 gates, which is your 5 senses, the choices will keep you in debt or credit. Your choice is what I call a compound effect, your seed that you are investing in, which you are planting in through your resources of yourself, your faith, love, time, energy, people, finances, development, and food, your life, your mind, your body, heart, and soul. In these choices and the actions that are positive or negative compound into a larger impact and result. Your harvest is reflected in the seasons of your life, of the seeds you have invested in. Are you in poverty or flourishing? in all areas and aspects of your life, not just financially, but morally, in the fruits of the Spirit, or in fear, worry, depression, anger? How are you stewarding your life and the resources internally and externally? Who do you allow to be your counsel whenever you have a problem? Who do you hang around with daily as your partner, family, friends, or acquaintances? What do you eat and drink? What do you read? What do you listen to? The TV or social media that you watch, the music you listen to, the video games you play? These choices influence the path you choose and the story you write for yourself. The things that are negative, toxic, and not adding or building you up, but instead tearing you down, begin to slowly corrode you and desensitize you the more and more you're exposed to it. Exposing yourself to things you should have never known. Exposed to it at an early age or at any age where you're just not yet equipped with the tools to handle it appropriately. Whether it's through peer pressure, socialization, lacking empathy, ignorance, falsehoods, and propaganda, that you have not educated or equipped yourself with tools of healing to discern spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Feeling fear, powerlessness, hopelessness, worry, victim, disempowered, or weak in whatever area of life you were impacted, which is what you harvested. By absorbing like a sponge those influences. I gave a couple of examples, for instance, like scary movies. The scary movies plant seeds of all the scenarios of fear that you would not have known about, and in areas that you actually lack real knowledge to truly aid you spiritually, mentally, or emotionally, and physically, so that you are equipped to understand how exposing yourself planted seeds that is growing within you of what you just ingested, which is fear. The people with negative mindsets, speech, gossip, vanity, materialism that you hang around with, that are highly sexualized, violent, toxic, excessive in food, alcohol, drugs, lacking in compassion and empathy. Again, lacking knowledge of the seeds being planted in your mind, your body, and soul, slowly corroding you, pulling you deeper into being dead in your sins. The things you have to be careful about through your five senses, your five gates, these things that people for so long said, oh, it's okay. At first, you're scared. You didn't want to watch that movie. At first, you're scared. You didn't want to steal something. But the more you did it, you desensitized yourself, not listening to your soul any longer, saying, no, don't do it. Not realizing the impact you're truly having on a deeper level. It's just things that we have to really become conscious of, because when we lack knowledge, we're actually hurting ourselves. So, how would you flourish if you're surrounding yourself with highly motivated people that were aware of themselves spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally? Those who are hardworking to build themselves up and others up through compassion, love, kindness, and generosity, who were humble but confident and strong, and did not need to tear people down just to be heard, respected, valued, because they know who they are and are emotionally intelligent and understanding the impact positivity has to heal a situation, but also the spiritual consequence if they choose to fall from love and grace just to lower themselves to anything negative such as fear, anger, or hate. Being positive plants seeds that harvest in many ways, such as successful relationships, joy, knowledge, insight, love, kindness, empathy, confidence, motivation, determination, resilience, compassion, and the resources that build you up, secure you, and stabilize you. All of the daily choices that come every second, every minute, through the thoughts, the judgments and the actions, all these things that can build you up or tear you down, to believe that is who you are, the way people are, and the way life is, not realizing you are observing and picking up on things from a wounded society, from the things you allow to enter your 5 gates, where ultimately, in your own unique way, internally, that's actually something that you're seeking, what the outer world programs you to think you need to equip yourself with to achieve your inner needs, though. Those things that you have not yet fulfilled within, that you haven't even realized. Those inner needs that are calling, where you feel what you're wanting externally. Your inner need is actually saying, I don't want that physical thing per se. I want that experience that it gives me, such as joy, happiness, safety, stability, passion, peace, excitement, value, respect, fulfillment, meaning, forgiveness, mercy, to be accepted and loved. The experiences that you witness others successful in, and you attempt to adopt and lack knowledge in, and lacking how much work you would have to put in, you saw the success, but failed to understand what that person had to go through to get there. To be successful doesn't come easy. It is all about developing yourself with the proper knowledge and the tools to acquire and maintain it. All those times when we're looking at social media and movies, all those things that create envy, it's just seeing one snippet of time, but it could be false because internally they may be in need of healing. And that one picture that you saw on Instagram or social media was their worldly way to get attention for the temporary Band-Aid that they need to feel good at that moment. Or they may truly be blessed and celebrating the glory of their accomplishments. Both stories are duality, and no one knows the pain and the challenges it took for either of those persons to actually get there. One healed, one hurting. Both knew pain, but how did they rise above it? Do you be the one person that rose above it and show how they're blessed? Or do you continue with the Band-Aids and cycles because there's just no easy way except to apply that Band-Aid because that's the only thing you knew? Those 100 likes. But then after the camera's off, then what? So a lot of us may not know that we have a choice, being used to, so used to the pain and the cycles of our own prison, being okay with the small wins and those Band-Aids, only really to still just be suffering. There is a pain to pull yourself up from the darkness by creating a new you and shedding the old. There's also the pain of remaining where you are. Any area needing healing will bubble up in your mind, heart, body, and soul. There will always be that mirror to the external world showing you what there is to heal, even when your life is 80% thriving. Well, what about the 20% that you continue to repress and hide away? You can't hide from it. And there will come a season when that trigger comes to have you face what you've been hiding. It is a continuous learning to cleanse, to purge, and to till your soil of the past and all that you ingest daily. When people seek the easy way, it's an imitation, false. It's not of God, because what knowledge had you really gained to cherish the blessings of what you have? The easy way did not teach you the value of who you are and what it took to mold you into the victor and the morals and the character that you need to maintain it. That which is false is not of God. will eventually crumble and burn once the first challenge arises. The belief you cannot be anything better than as far as your family or friends have gotten, or seeing one succeed in comparison, envy and jealousy, or just the belief that you deserve it. You know, the lesson is to rise above the darkness with gratitude for that person, that they made it, that their dream is being fulfilled. But, to hear God saying, let me rephrase that, to see that person and to celebrate them, where at first you want to have that envy and jealousy and comparison and why not me? Honestly, that's a worldly mirror to you, because that's just calling out to you. That's God saying to you, I'm showing you this to inspire you and finding that thing in you that you have within to succeed as well. The naysaying or the others, of the others, or the own way of naysaying within your own mind to tear a person down is the seed that needs to be uprooted, because it is a mirror reflecting back to you to now rise up. Take steps internally and externally to now go after what you dream of. Again, it is an internal calling. It may not be sitting on a beach that your soul is asking you to pursue. So your ego is like, oh, I want that. She's on a beach. But that's not what your soul is saying, I want. What's rising up in your soul, maybe being on the beach, but truly, maybe it is the peace, joy, and to get away from the chaos so you can be alone with yourself to find yourself and who you really are and your true purpose. Remember, your soul is seeking something much deeper than the material things that you cannot take with you. That is the ego, the worldly you that wants those material things. Your soul is seeking the experiences to learn and grow, to serve, love, kindness, and generosity. It's to come out of the darkness and the selfish ways and into the light in the selfless ways. Material things are gone. It takes just a second for them to be gone. And, it's not that it's not important, these material things, because we are here living a human existence, but it's second to the experience and what you leave behind that actually carries on once you're gone. And the thing about it is we made the material the priority, and the world is a reflection of that. When you look around, you see how many people prioritize material needs above how we treat one another and the impressions that we leave that impact other people's lives. As a young girl, there was this cartoon about a little kid who, in order to walk to school, their environment was bad. It was a bad neighborhood, This is what I want to use as an example to say, this is your wilderness. It's your current Egypt. You have drug dealers on the corner, alcohol stores on every corner, gang members and bullies. And once we grow up now, it shifts from that cartoon to adult movies that reveal the same, including now sexual temptations. You show prostitutes and strip clubs. Now we got technology that exposes to all sorts of things, nightclubs, where we go out to party all night long and do Lord knows whatever. We're drinking, and there's drugs, and there's fast food chains, there's pawn shops, even the movie theaters, the things we're exposed to in there. In the movies and the snacks, they all serve all of these things that we are exposed to through our five senses. Yes, they're fun. They feel good and taste good, yet still we face those strangers our parents warned us about. Those people deep down inside we know we shouldn't trust, even our own acquaintances. The food and the beverages and the packaging, is so pretty and it looks so good. But is it leading you to poverty and a life of excess? Or is it leading you to flourish? These are the things we question. And our soul tells us that, no, I don't think this person's cool for you. No, don't go out tonight. Don't eat that, that Snickers bar. And what do? Oh, no, it'll be cool. It'll be fun. Or, oh, it sounds so good. I really could use some chocolate right now. What do we do all the time that we cancel out the voice that's telling us, no, I want you to do better for you, to treat your temple right. And yet we disregard it because we lack knowledge and the truth of who we are, So now it's asking us, is this adding to you as a credit or taking away as a debit in your mind, your body, and your soul? Choices in your wilderness. How do you conform, submit, rise above, influence, participate, engage, contribute? And what do you learn while in this wilderness? What is that moment teaching you right here and right now? What choice are you facing? And where are you going to conform to it and submit to it? Or where are you going to rise above it and do better? All of this while you are in the darkness. Who do you blame in life? Where is your anger directed? Where is your guilt and shame stemming from? A lot of people blame God, family, exes, life, people allowed in your circle, food, economy, job, government, even yourself, and whatever else has happened in your life. We're holding on to unforgiveness, pessimism, fears, hurts, and the pains that actually hurt you. And usually it leads to the physical distractions as the ways to avoid through the excess lovers, through going into relationship after relationship, through the alcohol and drugs, through the food, the spending, the friends, and all the stimulation that you distract yourself with, workaholism, just numerous distractions, the excess. And I can't express enough about when I say excess, because we do have a stopping point, we know when to stop, but yet we keep going. We know we're tired, but we keep on partying. We keep on drinking. We keep on going to the same thing over and over again. And we're spiritually tired. We're emotionally, mentally, and physically drained. But yet we keep doing these things that are hurting us and not fueling our body, but continue to drain it. What need are you trying to fill up on externally that you are really supposed to be filling up internally? You are hurting yourself through the excess and abusing yourself, creating impacts of cause and effect upon your mind, your body, your heart, and your soul as well. It's also stemming out to those people who actually care about you, these people that are connected to you that are being impacted by your choices as well. Now, in the past, when it comes to your unforgiveness, things of that nature, there are some people truly that knew no different and were learning right along with you. But there are some truly dark and intentional acts that were committed against you. And trust and believe, I understand that can be really hard to forgive. And I've had to pray for help to open my heart to forgiveness and to heal those areas that are really challenging. And, you'll be guided to people, to things, to material that you can read, that you can watch, and that will actually help heal you in those areas and help lead you to open your heart to forgive. But then also, again, God is healing. So you can receive that healing as well through him. But, this is just a step to break the cycle, because the biggest thing you need to remember is wherever they hurt you once, it's now you that is hurting yourself over and over again by creating the mental anguish, the emotional turmoil, the physical dis-ease and distress, and a sick soul. You're gaslighting yourself, manipulating yourself, thinking, nope, it's okay. I'll be okay. You're not okay. Oh, I'm just going to stuff this down for a little bit. Nope, that's not helping you. You're abandoning yourself. You're rejecting yourself. You're losing trust in yourself. your value, and your worth from that one instance that happened years ago, and it continues to replay. It's the darkness that holds you in your self-imposed prison and a retelling of the story that you have really, truly actually overcome. You really are standing right here, right now. You are a survivor. And shedding the old story and taking your power back, your love, and the stability that was always yours, this is your school, your wilderness, and your battle to find your way back to your light, to God, and to your healing and all that love is. You know, think about all the times the internal and external signs say, yes, this is the right person, the place, investment, career, dream, or thing that is for you. Now, where does that self-sabotage come in with all the past woundings and habits, addictions, lack of tools and behaviors from your past that come in and snatch it away? You know, your way of thinking, your perspectives, or the projections of those past pains in a current situation that is reminiscent of a past pain, but it's a new person. And yes, that word was said, but that was not the intention or the energy behind that word that the person in the past had used. But because you projected it, you feel that impact as if it was that person doing it to you all over again. You know? So where have your projections had you looking at all the negatives versus the positives? Where am I requiring perfection in these things that I have not yet even achieved within myself? Where is the root of the insecurities, the fears, worries, doubts, anger, bitterness, and shame impacting the success, leading to failure of this opportunity to give and receive love, to be fruitful in it right now? You know, I found that the thing you fear most and avoid the most is actually where you should actually go towards. A relationship, you know, with God, yourself, your spouse, purpose, your calling, family, finances, home, career, pets, whatever it is. What you fear is actually what you should go towards. And those things that we pray about, those things that you do want, sometimes it's the darkness, but sometimes it's you being tested in it. God asking you, do you really want it? Because you will need to shed that wall around your heart and overcome those fears and gain knowledge by seeking God. And through seeking God, you find yourself. Then you are able to build up and create that life that you prayed for through the healing, development, and trials, because it's God who is only going to give you what you can handle. And if you are not ready, He's not going to bless you with something that will destroy you, or destroy the person that you want to love, or destroy the career you want to flourish in, or destroy your calling, your purpose, your family, your finances, your home, your career, or your pet that you're praying for. Honestly, been there, done that, right? This is a new page, your story. You're choosing to write a new one. But to write a new one, that means you need to know how to become that person. He needs to know that you developed spiritual knowledge and wisdom. Where you were weak, you're now strong. Where you were hurt, you have now forgiven and are now healed. Where you had wrong thinking, behaviors, addictions, or habits have now been corrected. Because when you're in the wrong mindset and when you're in the darkness, when you're in excess, when you have addictions, that means you do not have the will or the strength to say no to temptation when it knocks. And you'll be easily pulled right back into the darkness. You know, He's going to make sure that where you have sinned, you've repented. There's a Bible scripture from Luke chapter 12:48. To whom much is given, much is required. I also ask that, read the entire book of Proverbs and the book of Job in the Bible. Proverbs, it helps to explain how to conduct yourself in life based off of the lessons that he received in his story to show what he had learned through his journey. And Job, that book, it helps to explain how even in the trials to have faith, perseverance, and resilience in the good times and the bad times. He was wealthy. He was doing very well, successful in his business and all of the things he's acquired, as well as his family. And once tested and all these things taken away, he was talking about how to love God even through that. And that means also to love you through that and to believe in yourself through that, even through all those trials. And Jesus teaches us, through his journey, that those who have faith will be healed, that there is belief that you should have within yourself, that you can get up and walk, faith that you can see, and even dead in my sins, that I can rise again to live. What it means to forgive and to love your neighbors as yourself. I've learned it is your faith and it is your prayers that will aid you to overcome. God will review all of this within you. You are the hero you have been waiting for, and you are never alone. It's just God's been waiting on you to come and seek him. Your choices and your story will become different. It is challenging. It is a daily workout in areas of your life you have never utilized or knew. You've never had a model to show you what you're experiencing and what is to come from it. What it means to love and be safe. You never knew that you had it in you all along to overcome the battle you've been facing for so long. But step by step, it will get easier and your burden will get lighter until the day you have finally shed the old to step into the new. There's a Bible scripture from Ephesians chapter 4, 22 through 24. That you put off concerning your former conduct, the old man which grows corrupt according to your deceitful lusts, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, that you put on the new man which was created according to God in true righteousness and holiness. This is your story. And every day is a chance to choose a new choice. Where we're seeking for other people outside of us to validate us, to comfort us, to keep us safe and protected. It starts within you first. You have to feel safe within your body, within your mind, within your heart, so that you can go out there and feel confident and have those boundaries and know who to give your heart to. What environments and things you should see, hear, and the things you should speak. Because you're more mindful and aware of how not only is it hurting you on a soul level, but it's also hurting another person on a soul level. And the damage that was caused by you, that ripple effect that continued to impact you. And then once it hit you, then you ripple affected that impact onto somebody else. If it's negative, now is the time to stop it. If it's positive, keep going. Continue to create those ripple effects of spreading that love, of spreading that generosity, of spreading that kindness. But if it's negative and if it's hurting your soul and another soul, now's the time to stop and to say, I've had enough. To know that is not who you are. You are so much more than that. And your story, no matter what your age is, no matter how hard it's been, and no matter what has happened to you, they cannot take away who you are. The things that happened prior to you stepping into light was where you lacked knowledge of who you really are. And that is to be forgiven. That is not who you are. You are light. You are love. And to shed yourself of the old man is by transforming your mind, renewing your mind, and renewing your heart. And I'll come out with another podcast on that later. This is your story. And you are worthy. You are loved. And it's time to step into that love, into your light, and allow the world to see you, and allow yourself to see you, reflected internally and externally through the love, the kindness, and compassion of who you are, and to seek out your dreams, to seek out your goals. You are worthy. All right, yeah. That's my message for tonight. So you guys have a blessed day, and thank you for joining me. Take care.